Please be seated. Good morning, and welcome to the 2021 Laramie County Community College Commencement Ceremony. Before we begin, please take a moment for silent contemplation and thanksgiving as we think about the accomplishments we celebrate today. Thank you. I am Dr. Carrie Brown Herbst, Vice President of Academic Affairs. It is my extreme honor to introduce the distinguished members here with us today. President of Laramie County Community College, Dr. Joe Schaefer. Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Melissa Stutz. Vice President of Administration and Finance, Rick Johnson. Associate Vice President of Institutional Effectiveness, Dr. Kim Bender. Associate Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Lisa Trimble. Interim Associate Vice President of the Albany County Campus, Dr. Clark Harris. Executive Director of Human Resources, Tammy Mays. And also with us today, Student Government Association President, Cole Church. Wyoming Community College Commissioner Julia Newman, and members of our Board of Trustees, Wendy Soto, Board Chair, Bob Salazar, Board Vice Chair, Janine Thompson, Board Secretary, Trustee Carol Merrill, Trustee Brenda Little, Trustee Don Erickson, Trustee Jess Ketchum, and Karen Forbes, Student Ex Officio Trustee. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the mace bearer today, Dave Zwanitzer. Our longest serving faculty member in 2021, Dave marks his 43rd year with Laramie County Community College. I would also like to acknowledge Dean, School of Arts and Humanities, Damian Cordum, and Dean, School of Math and Sciences, Brian Wilson. Finally, allow me to thank our sign language interpreter, Kevin Yarbrough, as well as Samantha Hensley, who will now perform our national anthem, accompanied by Kendra Tunaclough on the marimba. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched as it would
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to present the President of Laramie County Community College, Dr. Joe Schaefer.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us. We're a bit rusty after taking a year off from doing this, but it's great to be here in person, and it's great to see so many family, friends, and graduates. Honored guests, faculty, staff, family, and of course, you are graduates of the class of 2021. I am pleased to welcome, and I'm also pleased to welcome a few of our 2020 graduates that have decided to be here with us today as we celebrate in person your graduation from LCCC. 50 and 1. Remember those two numbers, and I'll come back to them in a moment. We are all intelligent people, right? See a few heads nodding. After all, we are here today celebrating your accomplishments as college students and scholars. And yet, somehow we have been convinced, with little resistance or hesitation, to drape these form-fitting robes over our shoulders, secure these unsecurable caps to our heads, and collectively look as if we're all heading off to a Harry Potter convention. Around the country this time every year, thousands, perhaps millions of individuals don academic regalia as they celebrate their accomplishments as students and become graduates. One day each year, wearing something that would otherwise get us laughed off the stage at any other time, we gather en masse, all dressed alike, and never bat an eye, and never think twice about what we're wearing. But have you ever wondered why? The origins of academic costume, or regalia, date back to the medieval period, being traced back to the 12th and 13th century. Historians suggest that the very first academic robes were worn by priests and clerics, who were the primary faculty in early college and universities, for the very practical reason. In those days, buildings were cold, damp, and without heat, and the robes were a way for them to keep warm. Seems a bit ironic today as this bead of sweat trickles down the middle of my back. I'm sitting here in this fabric oven, and I know many of you are feeling the same. The decorative hoods seen around the necks of your faculty and those on stage, now a symbol of advanced degree attainment, were originally worn as another way to keep warm and to protect individuals from harm when they would gather alms and distribute gifts. And these hats with their wonderful tassels. Believe it or not, they first had their origins in functionality as well. During the Middle Ages, priests and monks shaved their heads as a show of dedication to their faith. Shaved heads equals cold heads. And the rise of caps emerged to keep their cranium warm. Over time, the academic regalia moved from functionality to fashion, as well as a way to differentiate the learned from the uneducated. Have you ever heard of the phrase town and gown? That arose out of this separation between the townspeople and the individuals in academia. Professors and students would wear their robes as everyday attire. In fact, a form of discipline at the time was actually to remove the privilege of wearing the cap and gown that you're wearing today for those students who did not adhere to the rules and norms of the institution. Would you be upset if I said you couldn't wear your robe and cap around town or to Chick-fil-A after the ceremony? Probably not. Things have changed over the years. Colors of regalia have become aligned to institutions, to disciplines, and programs. The styles of gowns and caps have evolved to recognize levels of education. Additional trappings have been added to symbolize station, academic standing, membership in special groups. And perhaps this year we've now added the newest piece of regalia, the mask. One thing hasn't changed with academic regalia, and that is what it symbolizes when you put it on. It is an honor to wear the cap and gown. Unless you pursue a career in academia, you will likely wear a cap and gown 2, 3, or at the most 4 times in your life. On those special days, like today, the attire symbolizes the achievement you have accomplished as an individual receiving a college degree. I told you to remember the numbers 50 and 1. Those numbers are you. You represent the 50th graduating class of Laramie County Community College, a milestone unto itself. But in some ways, you also represent our first graduating class. You and your classmates that comprise the class of 2021 represent the first graduates who will celebrate commencement in person as we recover from a global pandemic unlike any catastrophe we have ever witnessed in our lives. Wearing your cap and gown today symbolizes something even greater than what we have celebrated historically with the students' academic achievement. It is a privilege to be here today, to be here together, and to be wearing this regalia. Yes, part of that privilege is having the opportunity to access higher education, to go to college, to improve yourselves, and to have a path for a better future. But this year it is something more. We are fortunate to be here today having what? Survived, conquered, evaded. I don't know the word, but we are here together on the brighter side of the travesty that is COVID-19. We are looking at a future that others perhaps don't have. That is a privilege. Wearing your regalia today is a privilege, and one that comes with great responsibility. What you do from this day forward with the opportunity provided through your education, through your time here at LCCC is up to you. But I hope you commence forth understanding that you are now responsible. Responsible to not waste this opportunity for a productive, engaged life, regardless of your chosen path or profession. The past year hasn't been difficult solely because of a global health pandemic. That may have been a catalyst, but our society faces other challenges that dropped their masks while we were putting ours on. We have witnessed greater division, less tolerance for diverse perspectives, growing gaps in economic opportunity and social mobility, and challenges to our future and to democracy. The philosopher Socrates scoffed at the notion of democracy. He saw it as a novel concept that would fail simply because of the lack of educated people. Without education, there could be no democracy. Without democracy, there could be no freedom. And I, like many Americans, and hopefully most of you in this room today, defy that notion. Our country was built on defiance, on protest, yet also on a fundamental belief in democracy. One of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, believed that an educated citizenry was essential for the survival as a free people. To quote him, "I know no safe depository of the ultimate powers of the society but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their discretion by education." You have been blessed to have been informed by education. Your responsibility then is not only to succeed individually, but to ensure that we succeed collectively as a free people. As graduates of Laramie County Community College, I have complete faith in your ability to do just that. Make us proud. Congratulations. Graduates, it's now my pleasure to invite a very special person to join me at the podium. Graduates, he is your student body president, Mr. Cole Church. Cole, will you come forward? Cole, on behalf of the students of Laramie County Community College, it is with sincere gratitude that we present with you the Student Government Association President's Plaque for your leadership and outstanding service to the college. You have been a dedicated leader advocating for our students and your peers during a school year that has been far from traditional. Committed to serving the students, faculty, and staff of Laramie County Community College. Thank you. Student Government President Cole Church, congratulations.
I would just like to take a moment very quickly to thank Dr. President Schaefer, as well as the Board of Trustees, the deans, the faculty, the President's Cabinet, and of course, all of you here today. I would also like to take a moment and say a special thank you to a few people. First, I want to say thank you to my mom and dad. I get emotional because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. Thank you for all that you have done for me. Thank you for teaching me to be the young man that I am today. I would also like to say thank you to my sister, Jessie. I am humbled and absolutely honored that I get to stand here and graduate with you. And then to my brother. My brother and I are vastly different. When I go right, he goes left. But Brent, on a for real note, I would and I could not ask for a better brother. I'd also like to take a moment and say a special thank you to Zeke. His name is Zeke Sorensen. I would not be the president that I am today if it weren't for you. I would not have been able to conquer as much as I was able to if it weren't for your guidance. And as much as it saddens me today that after this moment I'll be known as a former president of LCCC, Zeke, I have no doubt in my mind that the future of SGA as well as the future presidents are in good hands. I would also like to say a very quick thank you to my SGA colleagues, Karen and Samantha. I was able to do what I was able to do because of you. And while I don't have enough time to say thank you to everybody, I do want to say on behalf of all the students, there are so many people here today. We are here today because you have supported us along our journey. Now, on that note, I stand before you today with the title of a president. I am your student body president. I also stand before you today with the title of a leader. And in my many roles of a leader at Laramie County Community College, I work tirelessly behind the scenes to try and support you, to try and make sure that your voices were heard, to ensure that you got what you deserved. I also stand before you today, most importantly, with the title of a student, a peer, and to hopefully many of you, a friend. And while I stand before you today with many titles, you stand before me today with various titles as well. Many of you stand before me today with a title of mother and father. All of us stand here today with a title of son and daughter. And today, you and I gladly stand here today receiving the title of graduate. When I first came here 2 years ago, like many of you right from high school, while others joined us from their journey trying to grow in higher education, the one thing that connected us all together is the need and the desire to learn and to grow. And because of that, we came, and the first semester of college was a great one. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know, it's a distant memory, but before COVID, we had classes in person. We had classes without masks. And then, like I said, something called COVID-19 hit. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it sent us into a downward spiral. And many of us, we were confronted immediately with the consequences of what a pandemic held, from loneliness to stress levels that rose. There were things that we didn't anticipate. There were things that we couldn't prepare for. And while the valiant efforts of the staff and faculty here at LCCC, the person behind the computer screen seemed more and more distant as the days passed. We got here because of our hard work. You stand before me today on your accomplishments. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. While it is a distant memory, it's also fun to sometimes think of what we did pre-COVID. I don't know if you remember this, but we used to blow out candles in front of people. That can't be COVID-friendly. On a serious note, rather, though, the thing to remember is our lives changed. Our horizons darkened when the pandemic hit. Our dreams that used to be so bright, they seemed just a little out of reach. It was the extension of a spring break that, like many of you, it was a dream come true. I had never imagined that spring break would be extended. But then, like I said, realities quickly set in shortly thereafter that we weren't coming back. And on that note of talking about all the things that we've accomplished, I want to shortly reflect on the past. Because many of us might have been told that we would never complete college. Many of us were told that we would be nothing more than failures. Many of us were told that we could not be smart enough to get a degree. And here, students, you stand. You stand smart enough. You stand intelligent. You stand in passion because it's your hard work that got you here. And I want to be honest with you. That many of us, we've paved this path, but we were told by people who truly don't know us that they knew what our character was. And that is so far from the truth. There are people who tell us what our futures will be like because of their past failures, and they are wrong. You today, ladies and gentlemen, have the pen to write the story of your life. I beg and I empower you as your student president to not hand that pen to somebody else. Write your own story. It is yours. You do not have to listen to anybody else. You get to pave the path like many of you have already done. I know that you are not here for me. I'm happy that you're not here for me. I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to, so I will end and conclude this portion with this. Graduates of 2021, I want to share with you a final message as you go out and you make this difference. A few years ago, our lives changed. We felt as if our future darkened, but class of 2021, I tell you proudly and gladly today that your future is still bright. There were things that we did not see coming. There were things that you will not see coming in the future. I ask you to take a step forward. I ask you to keep going. And so I will end with this. To the go-getters of this society, to the resilient people that despite all odds are standing here today, I tell you as your student body president, with as much power, with as much passion as I can, I tell you with as much respect as a friend as I can. Graduates of 2021, congratulations, you did it. Now go change the world. Today, I also have the privilege of announcing the Teaching Excellence Awards for 2021. These awards recognize 4 faculty members who have demonstrated excellence in teaching skills, engaging students, and inspiring our campus community. Nominations were sought from all students at LCCC, and the award recipients were determined through a criteria-driven and anonymous scoring process. This year's recipients are wearing the Teaching Excellence Medallion, and they also led the students in today's ceremony carrying the gonfalon, representing the academic schools in which they teach. Before we recognize this year's honorees, we would like to thank all of our faculty members for their contribution to our students and to Laramie County Community College. Just to take a moment, as a student body president, faculty, what you did mattered. All of your hard work paid off. We sit here today as graduates because of everything that you have done. As I read the names of the 2021 award recipients, I ask that those present stand to be recognized. Receiving the Teaching Excellence Award for the School of Arts and Humanity, Laura Hayes. Receiving the Teaching Excellence Award for the School of Business, Agriculture, and Technical Studies, Lene McDonald. Receiving the Teaching Excellence Award for the School of Health Science and Wellness, Paula Harris. And receiving the Teaching Excellence Award for the School of Math and Sciences, Jamie Clark. Please accept our gratitude on behalf of the students, the staff, and the administration of LCCC for all of your contributions this year. Now, to confer the degrees and the certificates on this year's graduates, please welcome back to the podium Dr. Carrie Brown Herbst.
Thank you, Cole. It is with great pride that we present our graduates with their degrees and certificates. Before we begin, please refer to page 5 in your program for the description of the credentials to be awarded this morning. Today, LCCC will confer 655 degrees and certificates to the 2021 graduating class. The students listed in your program completed their requirements during the past year, though some are unable to be with us this morning. We will announce only the names of those in attendance today. Dr. Schaefer, please join me for the awarding of certificates and degrees.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. That's why he's the president. Will the graduating class of Laramie County Community College please come forward one at a time to receive your diplomas? Colden A. Church, Associate of Science, Psychology, high distinction. Abigail Karis Bilo, Associate of Science, Natural Science, pre-professional. Morgan Dorothy Blaine, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Correction Pre-Law, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement. Julian Beitler, Associate of Arts, Psychology. Andrea Becerra, Associate of Science, Natural Science, pre-professional. Marlon Barreras Garcia, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement. Ashlyn Bailey, Associate of Science, Psychology, high distinction. Emily Diane Elot, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, distinction. Jazriel A. Mallory Coulter, Associate of Arts, Art. Matthew Louise Mayberry, Matthew Lewis Mayberry, Associate of Arts, Art, Associate of Arts, Interdisciplinary Liberal Arts. Bridget Nelson, Associate of Arts, Theater. Tatum Michelle Schwindet, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education. Larissa Sitzler, Associate of Arts, Theater, high distinction. Tiffany C. Weber, Associate of Arts, Mass Media. Cody Heath Wilcox, Associate of Arts, Theater, high distinction. Jeremiah Thomas Withers, Associate of Arts, Music, Instrumental Performance, distinction. Taylor Mackenzie Wilson, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Arts, Associate of Arts, Early Education, Early Childhood Education, distinction. Samantha Hensley, Associate of Arts, Music, Vocal Education, high distinction. Janice Allen, Associate of Science, Health Sciences, distinction. Karsten Hayrand, Associate of Arts, Theater. Lavana Darlene Corbin, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Correction Pre-Law, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement. Jessica Lacey Church, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, distinction. Kelly Nicole Castle, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, Associate of Arts, Education, high distinction. Taylor Jaden Bird, Associate of Science, Computer Science. Austin J. Kraft, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education. Jaden Amberly Ogle Dimas, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, distinction. Viviana Duarte, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education. Alyssa Fairburn, Associate of Arts, Social Sciences. Jennifer Lynn Fern, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Associate of Science, Psychology. Caitlin Marie Gehrig, Associate of Science, Natural Science, Zoology, distinction. Derek Ryan Goldfuss, Associate of Science, Natural Science, Molecular Biology. Cody Marie Griffith, Associate of Science, Natural Science, Zoology. Hannah K. Johnson, Associate of Science, Psychology, high distinction. Brianna C. McKenzie, Associate of Science, Psychology, high distinction. Alexis Angelina Martinez, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, high distinction. Mandy Mockley, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education. Janessa Lynn Moore, Associate of Science, Psychology, distinction. Megan Keeler, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Social Work, distinction. Liberty Mae Morse, Associate of Arts, Early Childhood Education. Kyle Patrick Myers, Associate of Arts, Education. Mariah J. Norwood, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Social Work, distinction. Ashley Nolan, Associate of Arts, Social Sciences, distinction. George Jankowski, Associate of Arts, Social Sciences, Stahlcup Award recipient. Tracy Marie Holub, Associate of Arts, Early Childhood Education, high distinction. Christy Payne, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Social Work. Molly K. Pepper, Associate of Science, Psychology, distinction. Annika Ream, Associate of Science, Psychology. Kendra Carolyn Rose Redding, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, high distinction. Shelby Richens, Associate of Arts, Early Childhood Education. Tara Yolanda Ritchie, Associate of Science, Psychology, high distinction. Rachel Ann Ryder, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Social Work, high distinction. Erica Sanchez, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Correction Pre-Law, high distinction. Habia Amin Shamshi, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, high distinction. Christina Michelle Shun, Associate of Applied Sciences, Legal Assistant Paralegal, distinction. Sarah Ann Sisk St. John, Associate of Arts, Social Sciences, distinction. Noah Scarlett, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, high distinction. Shayla Standoff, Associate of Arts, Psychology, distinction. Cassidy Ray Weibel, Associate of Arts, Criminal Justice, Correction Pre-Law, high distinction. Erico Weimer, Associate of Arts, Education, Elementary Education, high distinction. Dawson Winchell, Associate of Arts, Psychology, Social Work. Matthew Scott Adams, Associate of Arts, Art, distinction.
This concludes the presentation of degrees and certificates. I now invite the Chair of the LCCC Board of Trustees and Dr. Schaefer to join me at the podium. Madam Chair, on behalf of the faculty and the Office of the Registrar at Laramie County Community College, we certify that each candidate presented on the official graduation list has satisfied all requirements necessary to be considered graduates of their respective programs and of Laramie County Community College. It is my pleasure to inform you that the credit diplomas, certificates of completion, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Associate Degree in Nursing, and Associate of Applied Science degrees may be conferred at this time.
Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I congratulate all of you who've graduated today. I also congratulate the families, friends, instructors, and advisors who have played an important role in these graduates' success. Mr. President, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I do hereby authorize you to confer on this year's graduates the appropriate degrees and certificates as recommended by the faculty of the college.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Graduates, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Will all the candidates for degrees and certificates from Laramie County Community College please rise? Having met all the requirements for your respective degrees and certificates, and having been recommended by the faculty for these awards, and by the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you individually and collectively the degrees and certificates you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. As a symbol of your accomplishment, you may now move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboard. It is my distinct pleasure to be the first to congratulate you as official graduates of Laramie County Community College. Congratulations and best wishes for a bright future. I know you will make us proud. On behalf of Laramie County Community College faculty, trustees, administrators, and staff, thank you for joining us for this commencement ceremony. And once again, a heartfelt congratulations to you, the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduates. There will now be a formal recessional. The mace bearer and stage party will lead the students out to my left. Family and friends, please exit through the doors in the back while the students and faculty process out into the parking lot. We ask that you not congregate inside, and please be mindful of social distancing, exiting the building quickly to join your graduates outside. After the recessional, we encourage you to enjoy the campus and take advantage of great photo opportunities around campus with your graduate. Will you please rise?